Good evening, my name's Peter Kilner and I'm the founder of Kilner Enterprise. Less about that at the moment. Let me tell you a bit about myself. I'm 42 in June, the 27th. I'm originally from Kent, Gravesend, and came to Somerset in 2003 as a single dad. I am so grateful for this opportunity to talk about how I came to think of Kilner Enterprise. I've been on income support for a long time. I was on JSA, I was on ESA, and then this new Universal Credit came out, and what a problem that is. As we all know, Universal Credit is the wrong thing to be on. Yes. And it's caused many problems. We nearly lost our home, we've been in debt, and it's been very difficult to deal with Universal Credit. Before I came to Somerset, I had a few jobs. I worked in a fish and chip shop called Fridays, which was really cool. The guy was Turkish, his name was Alan, a very good boss, and I was at the back doing the potatoes, the chips by chopping them, done it all by myself. It was like I was in charge of the kitchen. Because afterwards I cleaned all the sides, cleaned everything. So that was a really good job. Before that I was doing agency work, and didn't go very well, but that didn't stop me. I kept going to different places. And also before that I was doing a NVQ level 1 for hotel receptionists, because I wanted to be a porter, any kind of porter working in a hotel, and I was on a bridging course before that because I didn't have much education. I was brought up in a children's home from the age of 8, where I met some really good people, and yeah, well, that's less about the past. Let's talk about why we're here. Well, the reason why I thought I'd do a video is to actually show how these people who do other YouTube videos have worked for me, and how it's gave me more opportunity to really be myself, and to let me think here now, to know, even with a disability or depression, or that you still can come up with ideas to do a business, you know. The reason why I started to do my own business is because I had problems with my left eye and its fields, and I'm very sensitive to very strong sunbeams, lights, strong lights, and especially nowadays with people driving and they've got their beams on, these really thinning eyes sort of thing. I was born with it, and as I said, I haven't had much of an education, but don't get the wrong impression of me. I have been self-taught. I've taught myself many things, because in the home there were so many of us, so we had to learn to cope with so much and teach ourselves basically. And I am grateful for that, because the sort of business I'm doing is the sort of thing I started in the home without realizing, because sorry, I keep saying again, and those who have seen my videos on my Facebook, if you've heard of Kill No Enterprise, will notice sometimes I go, it's not I'm doing it deliberately, it just helps me to think out loud what I want to say, and help people who's ever going to be watching this video, that if you're lonely, you feel an outcast, you just want to give up on everything, you can't find a job you can do, or you don't have friends, so you don't know how to communicate from the outside. And I've been through all this, so it's not like I'm talking about something I don't know, because I've been a single dad. I've had some really hard times and got through them with help from a few people, and to realise that you can't change people, but you can change yourself. And to do this, to truly believe in yourself, forget what others have said about you. You know, I was bullied 24/7 when I was at school, until I went to Roe Hill in Dartford, Kent, which was a mixed school of people with severe disability and those who had learning difficulties but could really cope with certain things. Those without too much disability, I don't know which one I've in there, but it taught me to not give up, and it's really made me stronger because of the disabilities I've had in the past. And now, where I've self-learned some things and learned from YouTube some things, so what I've done, I've mixed a lot of things I've learnt, not copied anyone's ideas, but came up with my own. 4 years ago, it got to the point where I felt I needed to get off income support, and I kept on thinking and thinking and thinking, because about 6 years ago, with my disability money, I started buying like Star Wars books, Star Wars toys and other figures, and then I looked back at a few journals I've done, and where I've stated all along in each journal how I really want to do my own business and help other people, and truly let people know with disabilities or depression, anxiety, there's things you can do from home. And I don't have friends where I go out. Like now, I'm at home doing this video, and it's hard when you've got no friends. I understand that. Because it might be your disability, it might be because of your religion, it might be that people can see something in you. And when I was with my foster parents, they kept on saying, oh, you're not going to make up to anything, you're going to be like this person, you're going to be like that person, and it sticks in you. And this is where you have to come past that, retrain your thoughts, your mind, and say to yourself, I am me. I'm no one else, I am me. Don't change for anyone else. Change because you want to. If you want to come more spiritually, if you're religious, or more self-controlled, you can do it. You can do anything you want. And there's at least 3 keys I've learned by writing my journal, and this is a very crucial point. Is if you've got some deep emotionals, you don't have friends to talk to, you really want to get past a certain part of your life, but how can you do it? You've tried counselling, you've tried medication, and it just doesn't work. Well, this is how you can do it. Each day. Now, excuse me, if you're not good at writing or expressing yourself, it took me a long time to get this far. I've tried different ways of doing videos, and as I said, watching YouTube, people on YouTube, how they express themselves or try to explain things. But this is more deep. You can start with pictures. So you might wake up first thing in the morning feeling grumpy, upset about something. If you've got a hard book, A4 paper, draw characters how you feel. If you're feeling happy about something's good, keep your mind on that happy thought. Put it in your journal as a picture, or write about it. With me, when I first started a journal, it was like say if it was like Tuesday the 8th of May 2000. I put, woke up this morning, didn't feel too good, many headaches, had depression bill, blankly. Then I would put, had to sleep an hour ago, feeling a bit better to try start again. Took my sleeping tablet whatever time, you know, and it's a good way of keeping records. So like, you know. Oh, the other thing I used to do, I haven't done it for a long while, is listen to songs and then try and think of my own sort of words, how I was feeling. So like, if I felt, why do people want to pick on me all the time? Why? What have I done to them? Why? Why is there so many arguments with families? And that's something else I want to talk about later on different videos, because what I'm trying to do here is show you that there is people who do truly understand, and how you could do a business from home. And if there is any lonely people out there, I do have a couple of emails. You can send me anything you want. How are you feeling? How can you express yourself? Another thing I truly want to get out, and if people can come up with an idea, I'll be very grateful, is social services. Social services has destroyed quite a bit of my life. They have truly believed my stepdaughter on things which never happened. They've done many things to make their case, and it's been very difficult. So with this going on, you can see where I understand. The things my stepdaughter has said about my son is everything why I was taken into care with my 3 older sisters. My real sister did come as well, but nothing ever happened to her. Now, if you live in a council house, you know that walls can be very thin. You can hear what's going on next door. Even through the loft you can hear, you know, your next door neighbour. And you know that these neighbours who class themselves as busybodies, who one minute want to know you, as soon as they get to know you as you move in, then things happen. So they would have been the first people but then to report. The way Louise has said things, sorry, I've mentioned her name, I shouldn't have, but forget that bit. Is that we were picked on daily. At this particular time, my stepdaughter was in our room. Even before I married her mum, had trouble of trying to get her into her own room. So when we got married in 2006, it was quite hard, as you can imagine. And they were having majors of problems with some people down the road, some next door. And somehow me and my son got caught up with all this. So, cut a bit of the story short, what I did, as a caring father would, was buy some security cameras. Now, as I said, my stepdaughter was in our room. So what we did, we had one camera outside around the back, so, and the TV and that was quite high in our room. And then her bedroom was at the front. So what we did is have a video camera facing the outside window indoors, because the kids were trying to knock the cameras. So put you that in mind. Then she was saying, oh, he came in my room, he did this, he did that. Hold on a moment, why isn't it on camera? Simple. And they went to the same school, of course. Now it's caused my son and I, we don't hardly see each other. He's lost his kids. It's just not on. So the point I'm trying to make here is that now, how difficult is it for stepfathers, or even some stepmothers? Because there's so much of this stuff going across the news, in programs. Mainly it's aimed at males. I mean, there's been Cliff Richard, there's been Jimmy Savile, alright, that was proven, but Cliff Richard wasn't. Robert Harris, do I have to go on? There's a list. And there's been innocent fathers or stepfathers or even uncles who have been prisonized, lost their families. I've done research. A lot of men have committed suicide because of this, and yet there is still nothing to protect anyone claiming false allegations. Yes, you've got to take it seriously when it's been said, but if you have evidence, then these people should look at the evidence, not try and brush it just to win a case. Because the other thing is, there was a time when my stepdaughter was involved with a 24 years old. She was only 13 or 14. We knew nothing of it. So the school called us in and we found out who this person was, and They brushed it. Okay, social worker came, talked to my stepdaughter and us, explained what he found out, and this guy was actually with several different young girls, and even a couple of my stepdaughter's friends. Been in trouble with the law, been in prison, yet they didn't want to do nothing about that. But this social worker asked my stepdaughter if anyone has touched you in any way or done things to you. She said no. Now let me repeat that. She said no. Okay. She was also asked to get checked out. She declined it. Then, because she was harming herself, we had cams involved. She was seeing this lady at school, and soon as we saw this person once or twice, we agreed to get our stepdaughter to go to camps and let the school work with her. This is the school, one of the schools which her and my son went to, and they had no concerns about that, but other concerns, not important. And because she didn't want to go, she sneaked out of the house, took quite a bit of money. So I found off, my stepson came, and I said to him, have you seen Lulu? He said no. I said, isn't she downstairs? No. Checked her room, she wasn't in there, so obviously she sneaked out a lot earlier. So I found one of our friends, and cut a bit more story short, she didn't want to come home. She signed something to go into some sort of foster care, and that was really hard. But the first carer she was with, she never brought anything of this up, and it got to the stage they had to move her, and so her next family, she was still having problems, and about 3 months or so she came out with this story about my son and me, hoping that it would cause a massive row, but you know, to get me off the scene basically. But it never worked, because you know, but she still says it's happened. But then try and picture this. Now she's saying all this. Last day of call, her and her friend got drunk. They were meeting lads, older lads, and that night Lulu found, never mind, she is 18, so don't worry about it. And she's accused this guy for doing things as well. On the day she knew we were having last call. Now, why rush into relationships if you're accusing someone and then you accuse someone else? It doesn't make sense. And we weren't even allowed to put our points across. Even our solicitors didn't do a good job. So, if you are in a situation with social, or you are thinking of going with someone who's got a child, remember there isn't any protection for you. My problem is with this is that it's gonna have a big effect on men who might really like someone and they've got a child, a female child. It's going to be very difficult for them to get close because of all these allegations. There's no help whatsoever. So what I'm thinking of, if anyone out there knows how to, I don't want to get at my stepdaughter at all, but what I want to do is get the truth out there. And I will be showing you bits of clips to prove what I'm saying is true, because you don't know me. You could think, oh, he's just sitting there making it all up, you know. We haven't seen the evidence. But I'll let you look at the evidence and you can decide yourselves if you think she's telling the truth or I'm telling the truth. But the fact is, what keeps coming back in my mind is what happened between her and this older boy, because that's where the trouble came. And why would she not want to get checked out? She didn't even want to get checked out on this other occasion that I mentioned. Very strange, because if you're going to put a case forward and not go through the evidence, well, isn't that sort of, you know? And I do know there are men do this sick thing, you know, and it's making it harder for males who have been through it. And people say father like son, you know. It's not the case. It is not the case. It's not a gene thing. So who's ever come up with this stupid idea, and especially in films, it's sickening. It is not a gene thing. There is males who have been through hell and will not repeat it. And I'm one of them. I'm not ashamed to say that, because it wrecks. It does wreck your life. I've lost my real sister because of it. 2 of my half sisters have nothing to do with me. They say because I'm too much look like my father. Now, another strange thing with that is one of them actually went back and lived with my dad, with her boyfriend. And yet, she's made allegations, felt my stepdaughter's head nasty things about me which is untrue. And it went across Facebook, right across Facebook. So I do know how these sort of things affect people. There might be people who will think, I can't have a relationship because I've been abused sexually, like females. How can I get past this? No one's going to want me. But that's wrong. Don't think like that. I did. Because you are better than the person and you can get through it. Yes, it takes work. But we can't hold on to the past and think all males are like that. Because we're not. Some of us are really, really good males who will do anything for other people or for their partner, their lover, and not think of themselves. They are good men out there, ladies. Believe. There's males who will not be violent towards you, not treat you like a child, but treat you with respect and anything else. And I know there are so many females who will probably be watching this thinking, I've got no clue. Well, I'm just going to say this once. I was the only male in my family. When I started to learn what was happening at home, I took on the guilt that I couldn't protect those girls. It controlled me. It controlled my life. And still, this thing which I've just been talking about has opened those doors. It's been hard to try and push the past back. But with so much learning and knowing truth. Now, sorry, this video is a bit long. I might take a few bits out which aren't important. I told social services I kept a journal. They didn't even want to read it. They said I could just be sitting there making it all up. Well, isn't it like a statement? What about when the police writes a report? Or social workers type out their reports? Not half of it's true, but yet court read them. When you do a David's Finibob, I forget what it's called, affidavits, where you put, I'm truly speaking the truth, you're saying truth. It's like if someone's arrested and they're the wrong person, but yet they get called in and the officer will say, if it's not a serious crime, but where was you on this night? Or have you got an alibi for this day, for that day? And some people will say, well, yeah, I was here on this particular day. I was there. Can you prove it? Yes. You know, my journals are more than journals. They go, as I said, when you've got no friends, no one to talk to. So where do your feelings go? Where you either can hold them and let them eat you up and lose so many opportunities out in this big world because you're letting that emotional take over. As I said, I've done it, so I know. I'm not just saying any of this, okay? When I talk truth, and I want people to trust me, because whatever business you're in or what you try to teach, if you're not honest, and I know there's a number of people who aren't honest in business and can get away with it. Excuse me. But when you want to sell like toys for young children, or you want to set up a group where you're in charge with children, you've got to have trust. Now, I'm not doing this to be popular. I'm not doing it to say, hey, look at me, you know. I'm doing this to express that you, whatever situation you're in, can get through it. And if you want to start a business, you can do it. You've got to believe that you can do it. And when you know you're telling the truth, you never give up on that. Never ever give up on truth. Because truth will get you far. There's times when you've got a bend, a little white fit, especially when you're dealing with other companies, you know, and sometimes you get those annoying companies phoning you, you know, like, oh, we're from Kirk's Cleaning Agency. I've just made that up, by the way. We're in your area. Could we come and show you our brochure? And then ring ring, same, but a different person. Ring ring ring. And then it gets to the point where you think, sorry, I'm not the owner here. Or you can say, sorry, you got the wrong number. You got the pizza please. Goodbye. You know? And sometimes you have to do that with companies because they are a pain in the butt. When you say to them, I'm not interested, but then they try another way and another way. And that's the same with anything in life, really. One thing I want to get across right now: never, never be a quitter. So if you start something and it doesn't go right, don't give up on it. Take a break from it. Go back to it. Believe. Now, you can take this advice or you don't have to. Look deep inside and think of all the good things you've had. Write them down. And then under each one, put, I am truly grateful for this. I'm grateful for this video if this helps you. I'm grateful being alive at least. I'm grateful a little thing went right today, because that's a power key. One power key. So it's also coming back to the journal. I am grateful someone bothered to phone me to see how I am. I am grateful for the little bit of money I have. I am grateful for waking up, still breathing, hearing the birds. Trust me, it works. I wouldn't be doing this video if it doesn't work, because I've had one of the best weeks of my life. You know, I'm out of debt. I'm finding ways to raise money to get a shop or a unit. I'm finding ways to be more successful with my business system. To be more open and stand for the things I know is, and here's that word again, truth. Truth. It doesn't matter if others do not believe, but you know something's true. Well, I hope this video has been helpful. As I said, it is my first sort of video doing this, and hopefully in my next video I might come up with other things, but I thought I'd get this introduction out of the way, and I've probably gone from one subject to another subject, but it all comes one, totally. So if there's any lonely people, you need a friend, you've got one, okay? I'll be your friend. You can email me, you can go to my Facebook, and I will give all these things maybe on the next video, but I wanted you to know more about me at the moment. And if there's any females out there who feel lonely, have no friends to hang out with, but live in Taunton, there's that word, Taunton, Somerset, I am from Taunton, or if you're from Minehead, Watchet, Winnington, and you want a special friend, whatever you need to have a better life, not marriage, forget that one. No, I'm talking about, there's some women who totally feel alone, and there's males who feel alone too. As I said, I'm one of them. So as I said, if you like this video, see you in the next one.